that when you are creating an affirmation, when you are designing something that you want to say over and over and over again, which, by the way, is something I highly recommend you do. I highly recommend that you have a handful of affirmations that are positive that you can run through your mind. Why? Let me tell you why. Because your ego mind is in the affirmation business. While you're coming up with 3 to 5 affirmations, which we tend to think of as affirming, the ego has come up with things that affirm you as the exact opposite of what you are, in some ways very, very negative. And often the ego will have you say things. What was it? I actually did a seminar one time, and I had gotten this idea from someone. And what they suggested was that we had these little Post-it notes, but they were shaped like leaves, like would fall out of a tree. And everybody wrote on 3 leaves the negative things they say to themselves. I am da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, one of 3 things. And then we put the leaves on our bodies and we walked around. Now, it was a really great thing, and I forget who I got it from, but it did a number of things. One, it helped us realize that we were not unique, that other people have these same negative affirmations. And for example, people would have negative body affirmations, and as you're walking around, you'd look at them and you'd go, you're not that way, So the other thing then that we did was we went around and individually took turns removing the leaves from one another. Now that I think about it, may not be the most politically correct thing to do or the thing you should necessarily do nowadays. But anyway, it was a really cool thing. And the 3 most common things that people said were, I am fat, I am lazy, and I am stupid. I am fat, I am lazy, I am stupid. By the way, fat and stupid were 2 of mine, and also unlovable. So when I'm telling myself, when my ego is running the affirmation factory and saying the negative things about me, those are the things that it tends to hone in on, which is interesting because I was really fat as a child. I wouldn't consider myself that way at all now, nor stupid, and Anyway, so the point I want to make today is that what we often do is we try to focus on the reverse of an idea, but our minds focus on I am. Here's what I mean. There goes Teddy, just in time. If you are in the process of trying to make a change in your life, you might say to yourself, I no longer drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. It's actually more effective to say, I am an ex-coffee drinker or I am a tea drinker. It is more effective to say what it is you want to be, because the mind does not focus on the reverse of an idea. Your mind, this gets really deep into the weeds in metaphysics here, but your mind can only focus on that which is positive, not necessarily that which we think of as positive in the respect of everything's positive, but it only says yes. Your mind only says yes. So the mind does not even understand the words no, not, nor, neither, and none. One of the things that I often recommend people say is, instead of don't forget to bring your sunglasses, whatever, which is inviting people to focus on the reverse of an idea, the mind has to flip it around, is to instead say, bring your sunglasses. Remember to bring your sunglasses. Remember, as opposed to don't forget. When you are using words like remember instead of telling people not to do something, they're far more likely to do it. Going back to this concept of the idea or the affirmation factory, I am. It's interesting when Moses asks God, who is it I should say sends me in the book of Genesis? He says, I am. Tell him I am has sent you. And there have been books actually written on Jesus's I am statements. I am the way, the truth, the life. And many people feel that those are not necessarily exclusionary, in other words, exclusionary, that Jesus wasn't only the light, the way, etc. He was trying to get people to affirm the light and the truth that is within themselves. So, I am. It is important to focus on what it is you want to be rather than what it is you don't want to be. As a person who struggled with my weight for so many years, and I used to be one of those people that would stand in front of the refrigerator, and just binge eat into the darkness and then wake up feeling terrible about myself. I can tell you that, I am not going to go eat out of the refrigerator. I am not going to eat after 7 o'clock, whatever I would say to myself, or I'm not going to eat, heavy calorie-laden foods, etc., etc., etc. It simply does not work because it brings that concept into your mind and it gets you actually focusing on it. Since the mind does not understand, no, not, nor, neither, or none, I do not do something, the mind simply leaves it as I do. Now, you can say this is a little new agey and wiggy, and I would agree in some ways that you might feel that way until you actually give it a try. When you notice how many times what you're expressing to people is the reverse of the idea. In other words, don't be late instead of see you on time, or look forward to seeing you on time, something like that. Now, you can say, well, but this person's always late. Let me tell you something. Telling them don't be late is only more likely, because of many psychological reasons, to make them more likely to be late. So you want to encourage people to do the behavior that you would like them to do, and you want to do it in a positive way rather than telling them not to do the opposite of it. Number one, people tend to be pretty recalcitrant and going to do it anyway. But what I'm trying to say, and most importantly, is that the mind doesn't even understand those negative points of view. The mind always says, yes, I am. I am. I am always on time. I always eat healthy food, or I am a person who always eats healthy food. Thank you for joining me on time, as opposed to, well, good to see you made it for once on time. Do you understand? It's all about where we focus our energy on. And I want to tell you about a couple of affirmations that I run through my head. I've mentioned them before. One I got from a book on prosperity, which I have actually found to be very comforting in social situations. And it is, and I'm going to see if I can type it in here. I am now highly pleasing, to myself in the, I am now highly pleasing to myself in the presence of other people. For several years now, drug companies have focused on social anxiety. We all have social anxiety when we first get together with people, especially. There's always, you're in shock. You're in what's called social shock. And so one of the things that I've noticed is that this affirmation helps me stay relaxed and calm and centered and feeling good about myself. So I say to myself, I am now highly pleasing to myself, because that's what's important. You don't want to be pleasing to other people. You want to be pleasing to yourself. You want to be comfortable with yourself. I am now highly pleasing to myself in the presence of other people. That is one of the things that I actively run through my head. Why? Because my mind says things like, don't say anything stupid. Don't put a bad expression on your face. Don't challenge people. Don't try and be funny, because you can come off as awkward and silly sometimes. Don't. And since my mind can't reverse on the idea, can't focus on the reverse of an idea, it goes check. And it tends to make me do those things. So just breathing and saying, I am now highly pleasing to myself in the presence of other people. It's a book it's an audio program I got from Nightingale Conant. The guy did a series on prosperity. I think it was called Super Prosperity, something like that. Anyway, I encourage you to load your mind. You need to preload your mind. What we do is we go out into the day, and there are no radio stations playing, but we're scanning the dial, and then we find someone treating us or acting a certain way and everything like that, and then that's what we focus on. What we need to have is our don't worry, be happy station. We need to have what it is that we do want as opposed to what it is we don't want. The second one, and this is one that we do a lot in the complaint-free meditation program. This is the other, I was going to say mantra, but it's an affirmation. Let me type it first. Thank you for your patience. There we go. My body is now relaxed and comfortable. My mind is happy and calm. My body is relaxed and comfortable. My mind is happy and calm. And what I do is, one of those two things is typically running through my head as much as I can. And when I'm getting on rocky ground emotionally, when I'm starting to feel sad or depressed, I realize that one, I have not been running something positive through my mind. I've been focusing on don't do this, don't do that, the reverse of an idea. And the other thing is, I have not only stopped running these things through my mind, it's very hard to get myself to go back. That's when I know I've really slipped off, as we used to say down the south, the cheese has slipped off my cracker. That's when I know it's a challenge. So I want you to realize, don't tell yourself and other people what it is you don't want them to do. Tell yourself and other people what it is you want them to do, and celebrate it when they do. They'll amaze you, and you'll amaze yourself, and you'll feel better about it all. So let's see what the rest of you all have to say. Once again, click share. It's time to share. Right now, click share. If you're watching right now, click share. Thank you very much. If you're watching it live with me this morning, you can click share. If you're watching later on, click share. This is how we build our audience and our community. So thank you so much. Janet Robinson, friend from high school, says, good morning, Will. And let's see, there are my affirmations. Once again, I am now highly pleasing to myself in the presence of other people. My body is relaxed and comfortable. My mind is happy and calm. Good morning, everyone, says Jerome. There's Ed. Ed Wilmot says, affirmative, will do. I am. Thank you for the reminder this morning. Did we all need reminders? I think it was Aristotle who said, no, it wasn't Aristotle. Somebody who lived a long time ago who was famous. Anyway, he said words to the effect that we need reminding as much or more than we need educating. And believe me, it's true. I was driving this morning, and I was listening to probably one of the oldest motivational books there are, and really still learning a lot. So Heather Ellis says, grateful the storms chased the rioters away. Not sure how much of Kenosha they would have burned and looted otherwise. Okay. Patty Malone says, hi, Will. Good affirmations to remember. Michelle Doherty says, thank you very much. Well, remember, it always takes remembering. And thank you to all of you. Oh, I see a bunch of you have clicked shared. And thank you so much. The rest of you who still will, just click share as we're watching. And we're going to be here with you live tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about your spotlight. I heard a really, really interesting study the other day that just blew me away. And so if you want to learn to do things easier, faster, and with less effort, and make them feel like they're just less stressful, this little study I heard about is going to tell you how to do that. We'll share that tomorrow. For those of you who are going to be live with us in the complaint-free meditation, let me show you the image we're going to be looking at. Music's about to change. Do you think we'll talk about divergent pathways? Could be. Could very well be. I want to say thank you to all of you who are with me this morning. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And remember, just enjoy today and stay safe. All right? See you tomorrow. Meditators, I'll see you in 8 minutes. If you'd like to consider checking out the meditation program, it's www.complaintfreemeditation.com. See you soon. Bye-bye.
No more complaining people. Their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more